right, now being 5 o'clock, I'm going to open up the meeting of the North Carver Water District for December 18th, 2024, at 5 p.m., meeting room 4. This meeting is being recorded by Area 58 to be released as soon as possible. I'll open up with public comment. Anybody have any comments, issues, suggestions? Okay. For me, just a quick one here is the Board of Selectmen met last night. They were going to talk about the North Carver Water District. I didn't feel that we needed to go to it. What was stated to me was that there was talk about the Board of Selectmen taking over as water commissioners for the North Carver Water District. My comments to that were is that no decision will be made until we have a full elected board. And that I'm totally against it. So I did send an email to the select board, and I asked them to read it out loud. I don't know if they did, but if not, it's out there if people want to see it. So just wanted to make that clear to everyone. That was my position on that. Otherwise, we have George McLaughlin here to talk about Route 44 LLC and the need for water for the urban renewal area. George, it's on you.
Thank you. Should I stay here or sit up?
Wherever you want to sit, it's fine. It can pick you up.
Yeah, that's fine. My name's George McLaughlin, and I am the co-owner of Route 44 Development LLC. As you folks know, we've been permitting and assembling that site for approximately 13 years. Have it all assembled, have it all permitted. Right now, we're going through the earth removal committee regarding some issues we have there. And we're also going through the planning board with our amended definitive subdivision plan. If everything goes according to schedule, which as we all know never happens, but being optimistic, if I could wave a magic wand, we have our plans out to bid with local road builders, and my plan and my hope is that we'll have all the permits in place and have a road contractor in place so that we can start building that road April, May of next year. So if we did that April, May of 2025 to December, end of December 2025, we'd spend that time clearing what we needed to clear, leveling the lot, and roughing in the road. And then the following year in April of 2026, or whenever the weather broke rather, we would start to build, actually hard top the road, put in the utilities, and the road contractors I have spoken with have told me that they can have the road completed by December of 2026. We've been in contact with Eversource. We have to bring power to the site. We think we'll have power there by, roughly, we'll have all the power we need and into the site probably June of 2026. We're working out some gas issues with Eversource. That's not going to be an issue. The real issue, as you know, is water. And I've been talking with Commissioner Belvin about water, and have been before your board a number of times. And I have two users. They haven't given me permission to use their names yet, but they each want to buy a lot. One, they're both relatively local users that I think the town would love. One wants to build a 450,000 square foot facility. The other one wants to build approximately 110,000 square foot facility. They would both be huge taxpayers. The 110,000 square foot facility user has a ton of equipment, so they would be huge excise tax payers. And I really think that they would be dream corporate residents for the town, because they're not going to be using any town services. They're going to go basically from the industrial park onto Route 58 and then onto Route 44 either east or west. I have studied your tax rolls. I know who the top 5 taxpayers are. I think our development will easily eclipse the combination of those top 5 taxpayers. You know, I know you have some challenges at the North Carver Water District, and I applaud the time that you folks are putting in. One thing I did to kind of help, I hope help, move the ball forward is you sent out an RFP, and I guess 2 people responded, Clearwater and Weston and Sampson. And I spoke with Weston and Sampson, and in particular Dan Sampson, who I think was involved in actually the construction of that plant. And I said, look, could you give me an idea of what it's going to cost to go in there, clean the tanks, straighten out the electricity, update the computers, get all the software updated, basically get the plant up and running again. Could you do me a favor and pull that together? So I said, you know, it should be addressed to Mr. Belvin as chairperson. I'm just kind of helping give them some information, if you will. And so he did that, and I talked to Bob about it. I believe you folks have copies of that before you. And I talked to Mr. Belvin about it, and I said, you know, what I really need is I need to have water like yesterday, because I'm afraid I'm gonna lose these 2 users. You know, what they're gonna do is, once I put together a purchase and sale agreement with them, they're gonna have a due diligence period, and they're gonna look at power, no problem, gas, no problem, permits, you know, they're gonna have to get their permits, fine, I don't think that'll be an issue. And, you know, they're gonna latch onto water, and they're gonna wanna know, as you folks would wanna know, look at, if I'm gonna go ahead and, because they're both gonna buy their lots and build their buildings. You know, they're not gonna buy the lots until they can be 100% sure that even if the water isn't right there then, that it's coming. So, you know, people who spend this type of money, as you folks know, are gonna look and they're gonna see, hopefully, all right, you know, the plant had its problems, but now it's up and running, and, you know, it has a capacity of whatever, 100,000 gallons a day, 80,000 gallons a day, whatever it is. I told, you know, your board previously, and I stand by it, my partner and I, you know, I've been talking to Glenn and the town about how we can provide the funds for the water tower that is going to be needed to pressurize the system. And we're willing to step up to the plate and you know, take that on. And I've been talking to different people about possible federal earmarks so that we could get money out of the feds for that. And the people I've spoken with, I spoke with former Lieutenant Governor Tom O'Neill, who is Tip O'Neill's son, who has a firm called O'Neill and Associates, and they're confident that you know, there'd be federal money available for this project. And you know, my partner and I are happy to make up the difference. So, you know, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. But I guess if I could wave a magic wand tonight, what I'd love to see the board do is vote for an RFP. You have basically a blueprint for an RFP. It needs to be put in proper form. But I'd like to see the board vote an RFP that would, it could be drafted following this outline that Weston and Sampson gave, that you could send out and get bids from people, whether it be Weston, Sampson, Whitewater, whoever else wants to bid on it, so that we can get someone in there post haste and get the plant up and running again, and identify what the issues are, you know? And so that's where I'm coming from. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, or whatever,
Okay.
whatever I can do to help the process, I'm happy to do.
All right, just to make this perfectly clear, I had no idea you were going to Weston and Sampson and having those discussions.
Okay, right.
I want to make it perfectly clear that.
That's absolutely correct.
And so that's number one.
Yep.
Number two here is that I put on here for the plant, start the water plant by July of 2025. Would that time frame be acceptable for your contract negotiations, or do you need something else for this?
I need to, in a perfect world, okay, whether it's Weston and Sampson or whoever it is, the man in the moon, Weston and Sampson tells me if from the day they go in there, it will take 3 to 4 weeks for them to straighten everything out and get that plant up and running again. The real X factor is the membranes, as you folks may know, because they were not, when the plant was shut down, the membranes were not pickled properly. And so I think I know it's extremely important for you folks to get in there, or you have someone in there and deal with that, because as I understand it, the membranes are a long lead time item. They could take, up to a year to get new membranes, and they're expensive. So you really want to get someone in there ASAP. So again, in my perfect world, if you can vote the RFP, then you can send the RFP out. Then you get responses back by, I don't know, mid-January, make a decision by the end of January. Weston and Sampson, just for example, and those are the only folks I've talked to, they said they could get in there, in February and have that plant up and running by the end of February. Veolia, as you know, is working on a plant in Plymouth, so, they're available as a resource for whoever is getting the plant up and running. So what I'd like to do is, I'd like to see that plant up and running in the February-March timeframe. And the reason I say that is because I've been talking to different people who build these water towers, and the best time frame I can get is, it'll take, and let me check with my son, what is it, 10 months for them to construct and install the water tower, is that correct?
Yeah, 10 months for the foundation and installing the petasphere tank, yeah.
Yeah, so once, what I would do is, once we knew that the plant was up and running, say the plant was up and running in March, okay, and everything was looking good, then, or at least get a handle on what needed to be done so that everything could be up and running and back to normal, then that would give me the confidence to go out and order the water tank, okay, and put money down on the water tank, because that's the final step. Of course, what we have to do too is we're gonna have to permit the water tank and go through the FAA, et cetera. So, that's something I want to discuss with you too. Maybe we can start the permitting process just so we can have the permit in hand. And as soon as I have the permit in hand and we know the water tower, the plant is up and running, and except for a few adjustments is producing water and is back on the mend, then that would give me the confidence to put my money down and order the water tank. Okay, and the figures I've received is that the water tank installed with the foundation is approximately $1,400,000. And I'm sure I can work out something with the town, and that's something my partner and I would be willing to take on. I'd want to hire probably O'Neill and Associates to try and go out and get federal money to assist in that. But it's interesting, when you're looking for an earmark, you can actually order the water tank, and if you get the money, fine. If you don't, fine. But unlike when you go for a Mass Works grant, you can't, if you were going for a Mass Works grant for that water tank, you can't even order the water tank until you're granted the Mass Works grant. So, but I don't have the luxury of the time waiting for a Mass Works grant. I gotta know where I stand.
Okay. So just to let you know, I did send an email to the conservation, because we are on conservation property over there.
Yeah.
And the conservation agent, to give them a heads up of this is what we're looking at in the possible future
Yeah.
for it, just for full disclosure about the water tank, so that their understanding of it, and at some point talk to them. And that's all based upon what goes on at this meeting here now. All right? Anybody else have any questions? Questions? Okay. We're going to move on to number 4, discussion vote supporting a water plant by July 25. I know your date is sooner than that, but needless to say, would like a vote of this board of the confidence that we can go ahead and have that up and running by at least July of 2025. So I'll entertain a motion that we do that.
Well, let's table that for now, because we want to get through, I know Viola is on here to discuss about a walkthrough on the plant as well.
Yeah.
Of operations. So I don't want to put the cart before the horse, because we got to get it, I mean, if we commit that we're going to give him water by 25, that time period, and we can't because it's not feasible.
No, I don't think that's,
So I don't want to be committed to that timetable without getting Veolia, Weston, and Sampson in there, and then we open up a can of
Well, this is-
worms. So
There's two different things here.
We can set a goal.
It's one here that we're supporting getting the plant up and running again.
right.
All right?
I don't want to put a timetable on that, though. Yeah, this is a great goal, but I don't want to commit to we're going to have water up, because we can't see what's going to happen when they get into the
Correct.
plant.
But this is a goal.
It's a goal.
All right, that we have to have a time frame that says, okay, this is it. If we just do whenever, well, it's like last days ago, I don't think it really helps him much, all right, in his ventures going forward, or our town going forward with this.
but are you, Mr. Chairman, I hear what everybody's saying, and I think what you're looking for, and what the members are saying is, you want to set it as a goal so that you have something on the, you have something on the board to shoot towards. I think I'd be happy with that, and I understand your situation where, hey, I can't obligate myself until I get a handle on what's under the hood.
Right.
So that's fine with me.
And we're just starting to get the information in from like Weston and Sampson. We got something tonight. I know Veolia is involved for January, which is great, because they know the inside. They've been involved with that plant prior too, as well. If they get in there, and I know Weston and Sampson said 3 weeks to get it up and running, we don't know what it's going to need, what else, and then to go forward with the tank. Is it going to produce enough water to fill that tank? Until they get through that, that might extend the table. We're like, well, all right, what are we going to do here?
No, I hear you. I guess what I really need is, and I'm not going to articulate this correctly, but I really need you folks tonight to vote on an RFP that kind of mirrors what Weston and Sampson has outlined, okay? So in my perfect world, if you could vote that RFP, then you have your lawyer draft it, then you send out the RFP that basically says, we're looking for quotes to do the following list of things, 1 through 9 on Weston and Sampson's list here, okay?
Yeah, I think our lawyer was drafting an RFP for this, correct?
No.
No, he was
No.
drafted an RFP for a distribution.
Yeah, but he was also working on one to go through the plant for engineering.
An engineering study, that's
Study.
totally different, that we
Right.
have to discuss that.
Yeah, so if you could
For
vote
that.
for an RFP for this, okay? And as you know, Weston and Sampson is saying that this is gonna cost $60,360. They've been,
Can we, the money-wise, can we just, not do that yet? Because we haven't even
Okay.
gotten to that discussion about an RFP for that.
Okay,
all right?
fine.
So this discussion is just about a vote to start the water plant. If you don't want to
Okay.
put a date, I want you guys
Yeah,
to vote to say, hey, we're going to start this water plant up again.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we're gonna start the plan up, but I don't wanna commit to a date without going through the process of getting everything lined up first. Don't put the cart before the horse.
Okay.
You know, we open that up and they say it's gonna be 15 million to do this, and that's what's
Okay.
needed, then it's like, oh, you gotta pump the brakes.
Right.
And then we already spent 60 to find out that maybe he doesn't wanna get involved anymore, or something else happens. And,
Oh, no, I'm gonna stay
right,
involved. Let me tell
right,
you.
which,
15
way.
minutes, 15 million, I mean, we only paid 7 for the plant, but I mean, I don't see that
Well, yeah, we're in a
happening,
different
but,
time, but I don't wanna, I mean, we're obligated to supply water to North Carver residents. He needs water up at the development.
okay.
So we got to get there at some point. So, but the first steps is, I mean, what's the overall goal of the plant? Are we going to supply the townspeople and his development? Or will the plan only handle his development? We don't even know that until they get in there and decide this is what the plant can do, and we figure out, is it going to supply both?
But we have to get the plan out. My goal is just, if we could do a vote right now, that, because we haven't had that done yet, that we're gonna get the plant up and running. All right, I'd like a vote just to say, yes, we are in support of getting the water up and running.
I'm in
the water
support of
plant.
getting the plant up and running, yes.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, second it.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, motion.
Second, discussion? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move on to number 5 now, is, I put public hearings here for abatements of water bills. All right, so I've been getting emails about water bills that are exorbitant. And, yeah, that's to say the least. So, let me get my papers here. All a mess. So I'd like to discuss, the first one is Clay Raymond, 6 Captain Perkins. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
You want to come down and have a seat here? And
I have a hand up if
excellent.
you'd like to,
Yes, please.
I don't know if I'm obvious for everybody.
It's all right. Yeah, you can give it to them too, and, because I'm kind of familiar already.
Thanks, man.
Just to let you guys know, I did call them and talk to them, and he did send some, that information, yeah, I didn't get that, but it's all right.
Is this the one with the wrong size meter on?
Well, that's one thing, but
Okay.
it says it's a cubic foot meter. I think you want to go with a gallons meter.
Right.
It's okay with me. But the readings in cubic feet are, it says I'm using enough, it's like I'm using half the town's water capacity every day, 40,000 gallons a day. And so, you know, that's what the reading is on, I guess, your digital sort of radar based or whatever it is. That's the reading it's getting from the top of my driveway. But you know, I go down and I can see the meter down in my well pit there, and then I have those numbers right there on slide 3 there. So the top 2 lines are of slide 3 are the remote reading, and then third line is remote bill. It's pretty high. But then I get down there in the well and I look at the actual reading, and it's really quite reasonable. I trust it. You know, I went on, I did a flow test, you know, with the water, with the tap running early in the morning with nobody around. You know, I just kind of watched it, and gallon a minute. You know, very reasonable. So I think everything's working. I don't think it's anything on my property. I think it's just the reader is coming in 20, very much higher than the actuals. I don't know why.
Right. All right, so what I'm looking at here is a total bill that's outstanding of $49,691.34.
That's what I have too on my latest bill.
So there's clearly an issue here, and this has been going on for a long time. So how much have you been paying for your bill?
I've gotten 4 bills, and each time I've come to the clerk upstairs and said, hey, this seems to be erroneous, and they say, we agree, just sit tight and go home and don't pay this. We'll look into it. Now, that was the first 3. The 4th bill I got just a few weeks ago, the young lady said, well, why don't you pay the minimum? for 1 month, and that was like $49, $46, I think, something like that. So $45.90, I paid the minimum and said, all right, as ever, let me know. And so then you guys called me up the other day, and you were saying, yeah, we're aware of this, and why don't you, next time this bill comes, not now, but next time this bill comes, why don't you go and, again, take a picture of your meter, estimate per the math, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot, divided by 1,000 times $10.40. Right now, that would be a $928 bill for 18 months of water. And, I'm happy to do that. That's reasonable, that's low, I think, but I have very efficient appliances and everything, so you had suggested next time I come in, don't just walk away or pay the minimum. Pay that, if it's 1,000 by that time, or $975 by that time, pay that. So I think that's the plan moving forward. Maybe in January, when the next bill comes, it says, that I owe like $125,000, just pay $975 and let the abatement process work and get it fixed.
Okay, so what do you guys have to say about this one?
It's all over the board. I was trying to do the math, because I deal with water all the time. So it's reading it in cubic feet, but it's supposed to be gallons, because,
Yeah, the bill says cubic feet and the meter itself says cubic feet, so that's not, it's just 20 times the, it says 278,000. The latest one said,
well, I was just looking at, like,
Christ, it's 370,000.
well, Q1, it said the cubic feet breaks out to 132,000 gallons in 3 months, and I'm like, that seems high.
That's half the town's water.
Right.
That's 44,000 gallons for one home, but an average home uses about 120 to 140 gallons per day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So that's, blows my mind how
And I
that,
have high efficiency appliances, and when you go down there if you look back at the picture of my meter, there's a little circle there that shows you the tiniest water flow. And early in the morning, I go down there and I look at it, it's not moving, there's nothing going on. So it's not spinning like this, right?
and it's a residential home.
Yes, sir.
How many people living in the home?
4.
Yeah, so you're probably 120 to 140 gallons per day. Should be.
Yeah, I got a high efficiency washer.
Sprinkler system on this? No sprinkler
High
system.
efficiency dishwasher, brand new. Didn't make sense, so I did the flow test, like I said. It seems the water meter that's installed in the cubic feet seems to be correct, so it seems to be an electronic issue with the read from the street.
So what do you guys want to do with this? That's the big question. I mean, I have my suggestions, but I think I'll hear from you guys first.
So I'm just doing an average of 130 a day. It'd be 47,000 gallons for the year, total. Not, this is, I mean, you're talking like 300,000 gallon.
Yeah, I got 18 months. I got 11,933 gallons in 18, or cubic feet, and 11,933 cubic feet in 18 months. So times it by what?
7.5. Yeah, 89,000 gallons. That's what it comes, would you have 11?
11,933 over 18 months. Cubic feet.
So that's, so it'd be 89,000 gallons divided by 365. So it's 245 gallons per day. That's what that equals out to. That doesn't make sense, though.
No.
Yeah, yet my bill says 40,000 gallons a day, so. That's like an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
You've made these up, correct?
Yes.
Do we have, oh, you have that, huh?
I have the bills here,
These are the bills?
Yeah, that's different, these are all different months,
Right.
pay periods.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Captain's Perkins is on here, though, right?
Yeah, it is. He's page 4. The seventh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 one down for him.
Is it Raymond?
Rehome.
Yeah, Clay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And I have neighbors, the Thomases there next door, they have, I think they're getting actual, they, at first, they were bumpy, but I think they got accurate readings somehow from their device or whoever's coming and waving the wand or whatever it is.
Yeah. Wow.
The Thomases.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
because they
the,
changed this over to gallons, right? When they bill it?
They're supposed to change it over to gallons. That's one of the other things is the billing department is converting it from cubic to gallons for
Right.
us here. So we need to, my first thing is we have to change the meter out to gallons.
Yeah, and I think Middleborough was aware of that because
Right.
it's the size of the meter as well.
Right.
And we actually
So-
ordered that, I believe, through Middleborough.
We haven't ordered anything.
From Middleborough, I think that was.
That was up for you to,
Yeah, when I met
for
with them,
future.
they were aware of those, there was like 6 sites. I
Right.
think there's 4 left. I don't know if yours is one of them.
they removed my old well from down into the ground and everything,
Yeah.
but they didn't touch my meter.
no, the meter, we need to change the meter.
Yeah, the meter's gonna be changed. Middleborough was aware of it, because I told him to
Right.
get those,
Okay.
the correct meter for that.
All right,
And Mike Bumpus was aware of that issue over there at that property.
okay. All right, so that's number one, we change the meter out.
Yeah.
Number 2 is, we need to abate this bill.
Yeah, so-
There's no way that we're
No.
gonna, this is gonna happen. There's clearly an issue with us for it, all right? And now comes into the part of how much are we going to abate for this? When was the last time you paid a bill for water?
I paid a minimum about a month ago, what was it, a couple of days after this? it
Right,
was
but
like-
prior to that, when was the first time you paid a bill?
I didn't pay any, they sent me away saying this is wrong, don't pay anything, so.
Okay, so, number one, that's the wrong information. Nothing about you. That's the wrong information. What the public should understand is if you get a water bill or a utility bill, you need to pay that bill and then you come back to us to abate it after the fact. This is kind of behind this, we're not going the right procedure right now, but we need to take care of this. My feeling is that you should pay what you think you owe at that time. All right, if you calculate from other times, that, all right, this is what we usually use or whatever, fine. All right, at least get that money in that you think to it. The minimum is not what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to pay the bill. I would never have someone come in here and pay $49,000.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
When did this go online?
May of 2023.
All right, and have you made a regular payment since then or no, because it's been all...
No, sir,
All
no,
right,
sir.
so-
I didn't get my first bill at all until January of '24, so.
So we need to calculate from May of 23rd, the average
It was pretty good
usage,
for a while.
Right.
all right, to now, and abate that amount of money. You already did that calculation, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the activity of the house, but like I said, the average is anywhere from 120 a day to 140 a day on
Right.
water usage in a
Yeah.
home.
And looking at some of the other ones that people had, because I got another report, somewhere in between 140 and I think 200, were a lot of houses the same size as yours, depending on how many people or whatever it is. So I personally would be comfortable with the 140 per day calculation, and then do it at that point, so we can take care of that, send it upstairs and tell them, all right, this is what we have. I don't know about you guys, how you feel about that. And
I think we should just chalk it up for a sec. I'm with you, Bob. Just cut our losses. Let's get on the right track
Yeah.
from here on in. Cut 'em a break.
So I'm just gonna do so it'd be, one actual year would be 51,000 gallons, like this year.
right,
And
correct.
we gotta just do from May through December. And then deduct, you paid a minimum, or you didn't pay it?
I paid $45.90 a month
Yeah.
ago.
Okay, so that's gonna be deducted from.
Right.
I don't know the rates, so they'll have to figure out the rate for the gallon. And I think there's a certain charge after,
10 years or whatever. Yeah.
it's like a step program, X amount for a
Right.
minimum, and then it's X amount if there's actually, I think it's just per gallon rate.
I think the per gallon rate
Okay.
is, 20, I forget it.
Here's the, it has some stuff on the bill here, like the price you're paying.
Yeah,
Per gallon.
yeah, that's,
1040 per 1,000 gallons.
Yeah, nothing.
1040 per 1,000 gallons.
yeah.
Since July 2019.
You can pass that down.
It's not that it's expensive, it's just tough to get it there.
40,000 gallons a day, you're using too much water.
Yeah.
You got one of those shower savers. Shame on you.
It's that Turkish bath. It's a bad investment.
So 34,000 for last year. That's taking off, just running May through the end of the year. 34,300 gallons, and then 51,000 gallons for all of this year. This is through the end of, so.
Hey, George, you should buy his house. He's got plenty of water.
That's what I thought, that's what I told my wife. We should be partners. I got the water.
Let's talk afterwards. Let's hear George
So it's
goes.
85,300 gallons.
Correct. That's what I got.
And I don't know how they do the calculations, because I know they do the first 1,000 and then X amount, I don't,
All right,
so they can abate down to that gallon amount charge,
83,
minus what he's already paid.
I see. Is it, they say 80,
85,300.
85, yeah, my dyslexia came up.
Yeah.
That's the 2 years, or year and 3/4.
And less the.
Payment he's made.
Less 40, okay, in dollars. Okay, this is gallons. All right, so I'll entertain a motion for that 85,300 gallons, less the $41 that we'll submit up there that he already paid, to put him at the right level of this. And until we get a new reader in there and a new meter for it, we'll just keep track of that. If you could, take a picture of it. And when they change it over, take a new picture of that too. All
So
right.
each quarter that I get a bill, come in and say, this is what it looks like, here's my quarterly.
Until your meter gets changed, we have to keep on top of this and make sure it's calculated the right way.
Yeah, but until then, do a visual like I've been, like I.
Yeah.
Please, if you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, I mean, I take a picture of the cubic foot meter, it seems fine.
Okay,
And it's 6,
Excellent.
Captain Perkins?
Yes, sir.
yes.
I'll get with Middleborough tomorrow about getting that in touch with, well, if you want to get me your contact information, I don't want to
Yeah.
do it online here.
Oh, they-
You can, I'll reach out to Middleborough tomorrow and see if they can coordinate with you to get in there
Yes,
and get
sir,
that
yeah.
swapped out.
Yeah, I can give you my, everything after this, sure.
Yep.
And I'll email upstairs in the billing office and let them know,
Name itself.
and let them know what we made for a decision tonight.
I'll make
Okay.
that, I'll make that motion.
Oh, all right, he's making the motion. Second?
Clarify the motion again, I'm sorry.
Sure. We're making a motion to make his gallons of usage 85,300 gallons for a year and 3/4. And we'll have upstairs do the calculation for the rate to put that in, and then less the $41.25?
4590.
Sorry, $45.90. $45.90 that he already paid.
And this is for period May of '23 through
May.
December 31st of this year. So you're going to be paid, so your next bill should be at the end of Q1 next
Right.
year.
Okay,
The money you already paid, that was $45?
and 90 cents.
Yep.
So you're gonna call, you're gonna talk to them?
Yeah, I'm gonna call Mike tomorrow.
I'll take care of the finance though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right,
Finance.
Thanks.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Sorry about that.
We apologize, and we'll get this resolved. All right, thank
You didn't have
you.
to apologize. It's good news.
Oh, If I got a bill for $49,000,
thank you very
I
much.
would go
Yeah,
nuts.
that was something. That was an exercise, that was a good exercise.
All right, thank you. All right. Next on my list here is Angela and Josh Natella, 160 Plymouth Street. Are you here? All right, I did tell them, I notified them, emailed them back, but not here. I'll reach out to them and put it on the next month's agenda. Just to go back to let you guys know about theirs.
The same thing, one meter?
I suspect, but I don't want to speak for them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 160. Oh, you know what?
Nutella?
Yeah, it's a different name
Oh.
that they have for the address.
160.
Yeah, but I don't have the addresses on my paper here. Oh, here it is. I was looking NU, it's NA. I apologize, Angela. Their bill was $4,695.17. So, that was their bill that we have to look at.
And that's 160 Plymouth Street?
Yeah,
Okay. So that one's gonna be looked at.
all right. So there's that and that.
So we'll continue that.
We'll
to the
continue
next
that,
meeting.
yeah. Next one is McBee's, the McDonald's. No show. All right. Next one. We'll do them for next month. They also had a high bill of $10,272.69. I had a discussion with them, just to let you guys know, that I got some messages from people, calls up, says, hey, there's water flowing out of McDonald's. Their sprinkler system, I guess, is not functioning correctly or whatnot, so that could be the issue of their high water bill. I told them to take a look at that. And I thought they would be here today, or at least their manager would be here to give us information, but they're not here. So that's the McBee's. And next one is
Must be the
the
Warrens.
Warrens.
Yeah.
Isn't that an exciting amount? It's, I think, around $400, not 4,000. I know, kind of boring, sorry.
Yeah,
No.
right?
So you gotta pay more?
Yeah, right?
All right,
Did we?
Warren, right here. Okay. So this bill is outstanding of $441.76.
Yeah. So mine started back in 2022, when I was speaking with Amanda Peckham, letting her know that our bill seemed a little strange, because since buying our house, we had paid the minimum, just the two of us. We don't have a garden, we don't have sprinkler systems. And so she had informed me, let's pay what you kind of had been paying, which was the minimum. So we did that, and we got our meter swapped out, but it didn't end up changing anything. So then every quarter I would message her and let her know, hey, we still have this balance forward. How come it didn't get wiped when we did pay what we should have paid? We would have them come and check it, and they're like, oh, we can't read it from the driveway. And we're like, all right, cool. So they swapped it again. And this is going back far, so I'm jogging my memory a little bit here. And then they would come and be like, oh, well, actually what happened is what we have, if your house number 1256, we have it in our Excel sheet incorrectly, so it's going under the wrong house. So still nothing got fixed, we just continued to pay our average bill, which was the minimum. And then I have pictures of my meter and then pictures of what my bill would say, and they don't match up. So we figured that there's something wrong with our meter. We would get another meter replaced. Another quarter would go by, and they would tell us that, oh, well, you can't get a reading on it again. I'm like, well, why? You just replaced it. I guess they had used possibly the wrong meter. And in the end, Middleborough did come and replace our meter a couple months ago, August.
Okay.
And we're now getting a correct reading. Our usage seems accurate. I have that most recent bill here. But we still have our balance forward that we're just kind of looking to get.
So what was the bill for the good, was it just the minimum?
Yeah, averages to the minimum.
So I think this is a no-brainer, we just abate, so it's, you paid the minimum, but you have a balance. hanging
Every
out there
month,
for
or
over-
every quarter, we have been paying the minimum because before the issue, that was what we were using.
Just you two in the house?
Just us two.
Yeah.
I also have a
So-
couple others if you wanted to compare and some pictures of the meters.
So their daily consumption is 63 gallons a day
Right, two people.
for two people, exactly, and that's right there.
Yeah,
So, and the minimum charge is $45.90, that's what they're doing. So I'm not sure if the 63 gallons comes out to the same amount as $45.90.
well, it's under a threshold.
It's the
So it is under the,
minimum,
yeah,
yeah.
actually, yeah, okay, it says right there. All right, so,
So you've been paying the minimum right along?
yeah.
Yep, every
Okay.
month, just
Yeah.
because it was our average.
And if we look at here, she has been,
Yeah.
the $45.90 the whole time.
So we gotta abate the 395.86? Oh, I got a different number than you.
That's what I have.
40,
For 441.76.
right, the 441.76.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
We
Second.
have a motion to abate $441.76, correct?
Yes.
There's a second here. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Easy.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry about this.
No worries.
All right, and having come in, I appreciate you coming in here.
Of course.
Thank you guys very much. And I will notify them upstairs about that one tomorrow. All right. That one's done there. That's not good. All right. There, that there. This one. That one's for later. Here, that's for me. Okay, next on the list here is bills payable, which is right here. So the bills that we have is the meeting minutes for $75. The next one is our electric bill, which is always good, the solar one. One bill is $1,072.19.
Which one is that one? Carver Phase?
That's Carver Route 44, Phase 1.
Okay.
Sorry, should have said that. Okay, the next one is Phase 2. Carver Phase 2 is $3,307.86. Okay, and then the final one is a 2025 invoice based on usage of 11.938 million gallons used during calendar year 2022. This was sent from DEP. That we owe, I guess we pay for money for how much usage we do. And that was $113.41 that we have to pay to the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts, with a total being $4,568.46. I should have brought glasses. Yeah, 46 cents. I'll entertain a motion if we do a group one for all of these, if you want.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, a second, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'm just gonna sign my John Hancock. And Eric. And Doug. Excellent. leave on table. All right, next order of business is discussion of MIAA insurance. So our insurance policy is through MIAA. Down on the wrong one. I got notification from our representative for them that I am now the administrator of this insurance policy. The town used to be it for us. It has now been pushed on to me. So I had a discussion with our insurance agent on the phone. We're going to have another one when he comes back from his vacation that he needed to take, like we all do. But I did have a discussion about all the issues that we've had here in the past that he wasn't familiar with. Today I changed over me as the administrator in the computer system and created a password for it. So we can gain access to it and have clear discussions with them securely. So we're all up to date with the payment of it, but I just wanted to let you guys know that if you want to vote me in as the administrator for it, but I mean...
You're chairman, so that's fine.
So, yeah.
I don't think we need to vote on anything.
But I figured that's what I did, and just so they had somebody, they sent me a notice a number of times, and I didn't understand why they were sending it to me, but then I found out. I'm like, okay, fine, I will do that. Okay,
So no vote.
No vote.
no vote. All right. Next one is, I got a email from the finance office about our bond interest payment credit. So our $2.9 million bond that we put in for, we have to file to get money back, I guess, on it, a credit. The fee was $79.90. And what Kathy Kay said was that going forward, we have to factor this into our budget. I guess they've been paying for it, but we need to add that into our budget, the $79.70 yearly. So that was all taken care of for us. But,
You don't need a motion then, right?
don't need a motion, no, they took it out, but we're gonna have to put that into our budget for next year for it. All right. Next one, letter to customers process about challenging or abating a bill. Actually, on their bill, it actually has the back of it. Their bill actually says what the process is to abate your bill or whatnot.
Okay.
But what I also want to make sure people understand is that you have to pay what you think you owe for it. It may be wrong. You're supposed to pay what the bill says, and then we turn around, we'll abate it after the fact. Pay what you owe, all right, and also fill out the abatement for it, all right? We'll work with you as much as we can, all right, but we need to catch this, and hopefully every month we'll do some more and take care of others in the future, all right? But I don't think we have to do a letter because it's already on there, but this will have to be a discussion that we have in the future for it.
She'll have this in the office if somebody wanted to come by and get it?
Yes.
Okay.
In the packet that I gave you guys is actually an application for abatement for it, and it's down here in the planning office. So you can pick that up there. And it's also online, too, for that. All right. Next is discussions with Middleborough about extending their service and whatnot. You were in charge, Eric, of discussing with them. What do you got?
So we're waiting on an MOU.
All right.
It's been a month and a half, and
Okay.
I left a message for the attorney the day I left there. And I got it right here. I met with them on 11/6. They want to just do an open-ended, they'll supply us water when we need it, no end date, just a one-page letter. They want to review it, doctor it up, anything, but if there's any issue with the plant's up and running and something happens, they'll turn around for the existing North Carver Water District customers. I haven't seen anything yet. They're right now continuing to, run the day-to-day. I'm actually meeting them on a site the day after Christmas for a cross-connection issue going on up at the plaza, 160 North Main.
Yes, I got an email about that.
Yeah.
They're going to change over do something over there.
Yeah, they're gonna
for
replace
it.
2 backflows, and then they're
Right.
doing something with the cross connection. So I'm gonna meet them up there when they're up there.
Okay.
But, yeah, they're gonna continue until we can try to find somebody to step in and oversee.
Okay, so I talked to the lawyer today. He said he didn't get anything, he didn't get any messages.
Okay.
All right, whatever happened, I gave him your phone number to call you today. So he should have called you somewhere around, was it 11?
Yeah, I haven't-
Somewhere around 11 o'clock. He should have called you on that to talk about this. He did have a discussion with a selectman.
Our selectmen in Middleborough.
No, Middleborough Selectmen. I forget who you talked to for that. But, yeah, so some of the things we have to look
Yeah,
at.
I called them
All right,
going back.
no
a while
problem.
ago.
So, commercial ventures about, if we can't get our system up and running, that we can at least cover the 5,000 gallons or whatever per day that Route 44 development may need if we can't get it up and running. If they were continuing with distribution operations, we know that's not
Is
gonna
that
happen.
you, Commercial Ventures, was it?
That's Route 44 development.
Okay. And
All
that's-
right. Or actually, any commercial development
Right.
that comes in that we're not ready to take hold of at that point.
Okay.
But right now, they're the only ones. I mean, there's a number of commercial properties
Right.
that could want to tap into. There's some building being done in that area, and they're gonna have to tap into us.
Right.
At some point. They haven't come to us yet. And then,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it the 5,000 gallons, you were asking Middleborough to make that available, or that's something you can make available?
no, that's what they're gonna make available, just in this temporary, just in case you need the water sooner, and that we can, or any other company that may have, commercial company that's gonna hook up, because we have a couple other buildings that are being built in this area.
So Middleborough will make that available on a temporary basis?
Well, we're asking them.
What are you asking?
We're asking them, all
Will they
right?
fill the water tank?
What, if we get it? No, I doubt it, but I mean, that's something that would have to be, in my opinion, would be a progression thing, is that we have the system running up and running.
Yeah.
All right, before we even start providing water or whatnot to turn around, if we're talking the time frame that you're talking from, and if we can get whatever you do with the town thing, and we get this settled in conservation and everything, that we can go forward and get that done. But hopefully we can fill that ourselves without getting into trouble with DEP.
They're working through more water from the DEP right now, and they've got some construction building going on up there. They also supply another town
Right.
water, so
And-
they're working on that, so they don't want to commit
Right.
to anything more than what they're supplying now.
Yeah.
Until they figure out what the, I think that's first quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and we need the new MOU, and
yes.
just that we conduct the inspections with them, that we continue to do that for now. And
Yeah, and I think they're
it's
doing this-
open, it's
yeah.
open-ended. They're doing really good. I can't say enough about Middleborough of helping us out in this process, so we have to thank
No,
them
they've been
very
great.
much.
Meter
They're
pit looks
awesome.
great down there, what they've done. I think they're just about wrapped up with the meter pit.
Right.
So,
Yeah, okay. All right, so there's that one. The next one is cross-connection issues at Cumberland Farms. All right, there's a number of issues with cross-connections, not just Cumberland Farms coming out, there's other ones too, which concerns me just overall with these cross-connections. From what I hear is the cross-connections is the possibility of water being sucked out of the system into the water flow.
right.
That's the issue that we have with cross-connections. Why these weren't picked up by small water systems for all these years that they've been in, I mean, this isn't new. They don't change their things over for these, but these all should have been picked up beforehand.
There should be what's the survey regulation? Is it twice a year?
RPZs twice a year and
Yeah.
double checks at once.
Right. So,
Twice. I'll get with Middleborough tomorrow on that.
yeah.
And
But, yeah, they know that one, and the one, the other one that we just discussed too, brain's not functioning right now.
what was the other one? Which one's once a year? RPZs are twice a year. right?
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
other one?
Double checks.
Double checks?
Yeah, that's the insurance.
Because that would have caught that on the cross-connection survey that's required.
Right,
That's a state law.
right. And I went with them, with their guy, and we did Cornerstone's building, and then we went over to Tractor Supply and found out Tractor Supply, theirs isn't there, it's actually in the other building.
Right.
So they get the water in, so they don't need one at Tractor Supply, they need one over at the other building.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing
and
on the 26th.
That's what they're doing on the 26th, so, and it's not cheap.
No.
It's not a cheap venture for them, so this is a kind of a big hit to these businesses, but
This
we
get brought
have
to your
to.
attention by Middleborough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the things there for
Did
it.
you find in any of the old paperwork, any lists of cross connections sites? It should be any commercial building that's receiving property.
Right, but I didn't see anything in the plan.
Okay.
The plan doesn't have up-to-date records at all.
Okay.
So, and that's gonna be an issue
I'll talk
in
to
the
Mike
future. But Middleborough's really good, they have a good handle on them, and whoever takes over will be working with Middleborough
Yeah.
to gain a lot of this information that we don't know for it. And then going back to small water systems, say, hey, what's going on with this? Did that, all right, next, big one. All right, next one is number 12 here. So we put the RFP out for the distribution operator. We had a site visit. At the site visit, both Weston and Sampson and Whitewater both came to it. After looking at the plant and seeing what we had, they both said, hey, yeah, we're not interested in doing anything really with it, and that they feel that the RFP that we put out didn't have a good enough scope with it concerning how many hours per day they want somebody in there and what actually we want them to do for it. So it also says in this that they're supposed to submit it in writing to us. It didn't happen. We didn't get anything in writing for it. Weston and Sampson did send an email, and you have that here. They sent a couple of things, but I just want to talk about their proposal that they submitted. Because of what was said at the water plant with me, I don't think we can act on the proposal that they submitted in here, due to the fact that I think we may be in trouble if we vote on this and accept it, that Whitewater may come back and say something to us. Say, hey, I didn't submit one in because I didn't think we were going to do it. I mean, that was the discussion, and I don't think it's fair. Plus, we only got one proposal in.
Right.
All right, so I think we have to submit it out again, a new RFP. So I kind of would like a motion basically to say that we're not going to accept any proposals for this RFP at this time for this request for proposal. And I'll send an email to Weston and Sampson, letting them know that we're not taking up their proposal.
Well, we can extend the period, can't we?
Well, we have to change it.
All right.
You have to change it, and you can only change it up to a certain time frame when you submit it in. And since we didn't have a meeting during that time frame, there's no way to make the changes prior to this and let everyone know. So we just have to put it out again. Do you guys want to talk about Weston and Sampson's proposal before we make a decision?
No, yeah, it's because there's a lot to digest in this.
Okay.
But I definitely want to read it, dive into it.
Can I ask you a question? When you're talking about this, you're talking about the December 16th proposal, or you're talking about another proposal?
No, we're talking about the November 27th,
Oh, okay.
24. This was in response to the RFP.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so that's what we're here discussing right now. So,
Chairman,
yes, sir.
I believe you are absolutely correct. I recommend you cancel that bid.
Right.
That original proposal, you put it back out again. That'd be the right way to do it.
Correct. All right, so I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second it.
All right, so the motion is to not act upon this RFP proposal for Weston and Sampson, and the motion would be to put it out again to bid but we're gonna have to make some changes.
Correct.
All right, to make it a little more clearer for everyone. So we'll start with that. We had a motion, a second for it, discussion. All those in favor say aye. 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 All right, it's unanimous. All right, so that one, part of it is done. So. All right, next one is 13, a new RFP job posting for water distribution or supervisor, discussion and vote on a new RFP for total water operations and the North Carver Water District Plan. So we have two options here, in my opinion. We can put a new RFP, not just for the distribution operator or a supervisor, but also do the total operation, get it up and running.
Right.
So, what do you guys think about hiring just the distribution operator and supervisor position that would help us along the way with DEP and help us with getting a new, someone else in here?
Yeah, I think we can get the lawyer to kind of dumb down, I mean, help us with the DEP, get us in compliance. It'll take that burden off of Middleborough. He can work with Middleborough on the start, he or she, I'm sorry. Get familiar, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a full-time position,
Right.
but they would we'd be in compliance. They could take care of the meter swap outs, stuff like that. I don't think they'd be able to handle if there was an issue with we had a break or something major. Obviously, we'd have to reach out
Go
to
with
Middleborough.
Middleborough.
But it would take that burden off of Middleborough at the time. And I can talk more with Middleborough about that as well,
Okay.
because they're pretty open, anything that has to do with their water, they do want to be involved.
Right.
But it would take the manpower out of being committed over here
Right.
off of them.
Okay.
Just get a phone call.
So we're talking 4 hours a day,
I don't even think it would be that.
Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I think it would be probably a 20-hour-a-week type position. And it could be, they might fill their work Mondays and Tuesdays, and maybe they'll pop in over on Thursdays. I don't think it's a, I can
Okay.
talk, let me get some information
So-
from the water department, because
Okay.
I don't think they're spending that much time over here.
No, I understand that, but we're gonna need some work done, getting a paperwork in order, because they need to go over everything that we have.
Right.
All right, and they're gonna have to talk to Middlewell for it, so all this is gonna take time for them to do starting out. So I'd rather have
Yeah, just put
the
it,
4 hours a day,
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, or do you wanna do 4 hours a day, Monday through Thursday?
we'll just
I guess
keep
it
it,
all depends too, if this plan's up and running, does it have to be checked every single day? So what's gonna
Well,
happen?
this is just there's two different things here.
just the distribution.
This is just the distribution supervisor, in my opinion, it's
While we're on
distribution
it.
supervisor position, because we're gonna need them to help us along the way.
Okay.
All right, that's the way we'll put it out there.
Short-term contract.
Short-term contract
Okay, thank you for bringing that up.
for it. Do you wanna do Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday? I mean,
As needed, can do as needed, or
huh?
can we do as needed, or?
No, I think we need to have a time frame of how many hours are gonna work for us. So we can't just say it's open-ended, I mean.
I know, but I think it could be flexible though, too.
Yeah, not to exceed 20 hours per week.
All right, 20 a week. All right,
It'd be basically a subcontractor. So
okay, all right. And then the scope of the service is going to be DEP stuff, meter swap outs,
sampling testing.
sample, cross connection too.
Yeah. Right. Most of that stuff you can, a lot of towns don't even do that in-house, they just sub it out.
Sub it out, okay.
It's less cost.
Yeah, all right, so, all right, anything else? Because this is gonna be a dumbing down from that big one to this.
Simple.
Okay, so that's for that one. The next one is discussion and vote on an RFP for total water operations for the plant.
Okay.
Let's put that one on hold for a second and go to number 14, okay? Discussion and vote to hire Viola Water to conduct an inspection and evaluation of the water plant. So I had called Viola and asked them.
Veolia.
Veolia, sorry. About it. And they're familiar with this type of plant. They have one going up in Plymouth, like was said earlier. So we have to put it out to bid, or at least get 3 bids for it, because it's going to be over $10,000, but it's not going to be more than $50,000 for this. They install the plant, they know this plant inside and out, and they can give us a good understanding of this. So my suggestion is that we can't just hire Veolia and say, here you go, here's an open-ended thing. Actually, got a message from them today that they're interested in coming down and looking at it mid-January to do an inspection of it, just to look at it, give a baseline, say, okay, fine, here we go, all right.
Kind of what Weston Sampson did today.
Exactly, just like Weston and Sampson did, and to see it. So I'm suggesting that we put an RFP out just for the inspection and evaluation of the plant, so that they can tell us what's wrong with the plant before we go ahead and hire the operator for it.
Okay.
So, one second, we're getting there,
Okay.
all right? We do know what's wrong with it, to some extent, but we still need another RFP for someone to come in and actually run the plant.
Right.
So now we're up to 3 RFPs, okay? And we're gonna, I think this is the best way of doing it, is that we'll put it out to bid. We'll probably end up having the same 3 people or even more bid into it, now that they know we're serious and say, okay, fine, with this.
Well, we could open up another bidding for the RFP.
Right.
to-
So we can call Whitewater, Weston Sampson, and Veolia and say, hey, give us a price of how much it would cost to come in, do an inspection, evaluation of the plant, tell us what's wrong with it, all right, and here we go. We can do it that way. We can do the 3 bids as long as it's not over 50,000, all right? And then we still put out the RFP because we know the total running of the operation is going to be over, so that's going to have to be an RFP, all right? The distribution operator or supervisor position, it's probably going to be somewhere around 50,000, I think.
Well, for the
For that one, for the part-time position?
I don't think
for
so.
it.
Probably 35 grand.
So,
I don't know. It's just, it's not gonna be a fully involved distribution operator. For breaks and mains
Yeah.
and responding to,
true,
I'll get more clarification from Middleborough.
yeah. So then,
Did Whitewater or anybody else come down and ask to tour the plant?
no, it was only Weston and Sampson and Whitewater and now Veolia.
Did Whitewater come down or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did?
They were there, yeah, they saw it. Like I said, they weren't comfortable, like Weston and Sampson said, with the way the RFP was written.
Okay.
All right, so that's why they didn't submit anything in, so.
And this was a
If you,
suggestion.
and if you want, we can just go ahead, if it's under the, we can go and put out a notice to the 3 companies and say, hey, listen, you want to do just a water distribution operator, if it's going to be under 50,000, and say, here you go, we do it that way, and seek 3 bids from them of how much it's going to be for it.
And this was kind of what Weston Sampson submitted, basically how they wanted the RFP kind of, or how it should be drafted for what's needed.
Correct.
Okay.
For it. So,
So that might be something we supply as support to the lawyer to just draft up.
Exactly.
Okay,
right.
all right.
So I think that's what you were tagging to say?
Yeah, just so because I've been listening very carefully, so as I understand it, you're talking about 3 RFPs. One RFP is you're gonna put an RFP out for a distribution operator, someone will come in for 20 hours a week, take the load off you people a little bit.
Well, Middleborough,
Middleborough, really, but,
Oh,
and
oh,
us.
yeah, okay, fine, so that's number 1.
that's a DEP requirement, actually, and they're
Okay.
honest about it.
All right, so then, number 2, you want to have someone come in and tell you, inspect the plant and tell you what's wrong with the plant.
Well, give us a quote to get it, like kind of what
Right.
Weston and Sampson said.
Yeah, in other words, what I would like to see, and I don't mean to be presumptuous that you're gonna say, oh, okay, thanks, George, that's what you want, we'll adopt it. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts. Okay? Do you have the Weston and Sampson December 16th, 2024 proposal
Yes.
in front of you?
Yep.
All right. Weston and Sampson have already, they've been at the plant.
Right.
Whitewater's been at the plant. And Dan Sampson, on my own, I talked to just to kind of educate myself as to what was going on, et cetera. So I asked Dan Sampson to write this, to help the board, to just see in writing what one person thought should be done. And so what I was hoping the board would do is make a vote and say, let's have our lawyer draft an RFP that is modeled on this December 16, 2024 Weston and Sampson proposal, and incorporate tasks 1 through 9, and also the notes, okay? You can tell, I know you mentioned it can't be over $50,000 or something. Weston and Sampson is saying that this is gonna be 60, so I assume Whitewater or somebody else who bid would also be in the same area. Maybe they're 55, maybe they're 65, or whatever, but sophisticated people will be in the same ballpark. So what would make my day is if I could leave here tonight knowing that you people have voted to have your lawyer draft an RFP that you could issue that incorporated these 9 tasks and the notes from this December 16th proposal. Because if you do that, then I can kind of breathe a sigh of relief, because I know, all right, an RFP's going out, you'll get 3 bids, probably from Veolia, Whitewater, and Weston and Sampson. Those bids will be in, hopefully the end of January. You can make a decision, and then they can get in there promptly in February.
Right.
And straighten it out and get everything up and running, and be able to tell us by the end of February, look it, we did tasks 1 through 9, everything's running, here's what we gotta spend some more money on. That's really what I need to have happen.
Right, and that's our overall goal as well.
Okay.
We want to we've been told different pieces. It's a 100,000 gallon a day plant. The last operator said it 80 at best. Okay, what are you gonna need for water? I know you mentioned 5,000 gallons.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
What if it's 50, what if it's 50 and you need fire suppression, everything else?
Yeah.
All right, well, now you're at 90, well over the support for what's there. We also have other people that are on that line that might have to tie in
Yeah.
at some point. So then we gotta think, all right, what's it gonna cost to expand that plant or keep that plant up and running efficiently where it makes just support you and they stay on Middleborough? We gotta find out which
Right, I
way,
understand.
which path we're gonna take. So, and I think this gets us there, once we get it approved, get it to the lawyer to,
Okay, so that's what you're gonna do, you're gonna take this.
So that's what Eric was saying
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That's what he had originally said that before you started, but, he made that suggestion, all right, that the lawyer look at this and work
Yeah.
it from that.
Okay.
Okay, so, and we do need a vote, so, the first one will be, a vote for a new RFP for the distribution operator supervisor.
yes, and we'll have to work
So,
closely with that.
we need a vote for that, though.
I'll make a motion
All right, motion to put an RFP out
Sorry,
for,
distribution operator.
thank you.
I say slash supervisor, just to say that we need some help. We need to turn around, they need someone to go to for it too. All right, second?
I'll second it.
He seconded, discussion? All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so I will contact the lawyer tomorrow to work on that.
And I'll get with Middleborough to kind of get that, those basic needs to take them off them, what we could have our operator do,
Okay.
take over with DEP, they'll be talking anyway while we're on Middleborough Water, so.
Okay. Anything that you find out, please let the lawyer know.
Yes.
Give him a call. I do have to say, he's had, I think, 2 other town meetings, one right after the other. I think Situate and Marshfield, I think those are the towns, but he's been dealing with those, dealing with the MBTA votes for those, so that's why he's been tied up past couple of weeks. But he's done with those, and he's ready to do this. So we have a motion, a second, and all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we have number 1 done. All right. Number 2, a discussion and vote on a new RFP for total water operations in the North Carver Water District. Do we want to submit a bid out for that right now?
I think that comes after the RFP for the plant.
Okay. So I think what George was hinting at was that instead of doing the 2 to do the inspection and evaluation of the plant, I think he wanted that combined over with an RFP to total water operations to do that. So,
Well, to speak on that, an operator's gonna take that distribution position.
correct. And that's where we'll turn around and have to,
Right. 'Cause
we have to have
the
something
operator-
in there when we hire that person and say, listen, once we get somebody to come in here, they're gonna be taking over that role.
So you're an operator of a plant, but you can also be the distribution operator as well?
Yeah.
Right
Yes.
now, we just want that one person for the distribution, because he's not running a plant.
Right.
Yeah.
So once we have what we're gonna do with the plant, then we need the operator, which is gonna do both. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
We're not gonna have 2 roles going.
So, so do we want to combine the 2 of get someone in there to run the plant and have them do the inspection and evaluation? Because they all can do the same thing.
Right.
For it, to some extent. And then the repairs will have to be done after the fact. So do we want to do the inspection first and put that RFP out there first?
I think that's.
Or do we want to hire someone to come in to get the system up and running, looking at it and telling us what's wrong with it, taking care of those, because we have to take care of those filters. That's number,
Right.
that's really, and I don't know if we want to add that on to the distribution operator to do that,
I
because
don't know
that's,
if he'll be able to handle that.
right, and that's the other thing, is you got to be specialized in that to do it. So, but we do need to take care of that.
If I could just, and I don't mean to keep interrupting, but I talked at length with Dan Sampson about this, and that's how this proposal came about. And he said, when he and Whitewater were in there with you looking at it, they both agreed upon what needed to be done. So I think I think you could have a vote that accomplishes both, okay? You could have a vote that says, because basically, they've already done the inspection. This is what needs to be done to get that plant up and running. So I think that you could say, direct your lawyer to do an RFP that models that, and, you know, if they think anything else needs to be done, to suggest it, okay, upon their inspection. My whole thing is, I think, for your reasons, you gotta get someone in there and pickle those membranes, because
Right.
I think it's kind of like, we gotta get the airplane running, and then we'll decide how far we're gonna fly the airplane. But no use in inspecting the airplane, because it's not running now. Let's get it up and running, and then once it's, the very exercise of getting it up and running will tell you other things that need to be done.
Right.
So if you could, I just want to get that place up and running.
The other thing too is, though, I don't want to commit to a long-term contract or an operator, and then this thing goes, and we're on the hook
Yeah, but
for-
you don't have to.
Right.
You know, my attitude is have an RFP to get it tuned up. Let's
Well, I
call this a
think-
tune-up.
I think we can include in this to get if they are rewarded, they'll get the plant up and running, and supply, because these are all reputable companies
Yeah,
that do
right.
this. So maybe we put in the RFP, if they're chosen, they'll get the plant up and running, we be the operator until, and then we can decide if, and then it'll go out as a bid. And typically, this will have to go out to bid annually anyway for or every 3-year contract.
But with these specific things
Right.
outlined,
Right.
because, you know,
And another operator, somebody else other than Weston Sampson might find something else.
after they get it up and running.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, all right,
Why don't we incorporate that in there, that those that are awarded the bid to do, you know, if it's an RFP that's drafted similar to this for Weston and Sampson, but if you're awarded the bid, part of that is to have an operator to, and it could be, we can work with them on terms. Could be 6 months, a year for an operator of the plant. Because these guys are all, they're plant operators. So they'll do the work, but they'll also run it.
Yeah, but
And there won't be any conflict, because they're gonna be awarded the bid, they're gonna know what's wrong with it, and this is the cost to repair it. All right, well, and we can, and it's obviously gonna be a different price, and we can separate that price. Part of that is that you'll run the plant for, maybe we say it's a 12 months.
it's actually, I think that's a very clever idea, because if they're gonna be the operator too, all right, don't give me some half-baked,
Yes,
you know, in other words.
Stand behind the work you did.
I'm hiring you to repair my car, and then you're gonna be my chauffeur for the next year.
Exactly.
So if the brakes are faulty, you're going with me.
right.
I like that.
Kind of ties them in, and we can put it,
Okay,
we can,
so-
we can work with them on a term. It's
right.
12 months, 24 months.
Yeah, fix Humpty Dumpty and then run Humpty Dumpty.
Exactly.
And don't complain that
Right.
Humpty Dumpty wasn't fixed correctly.
right. So we want to incorporate the inspection evaluation of the plant
Right.
with water operations, okay, as a total contract for up to 24 months?
Correct. And I don't
Okay.
know- And you'll have to talk to the lawyer about that, how it can be separated, because obviously cost, I don't know the thresholds with monies.
Well, no, if, this is going to be, this is definitely going to be over $50,000. There's
Right.
no questions asked. So putting the RFP out is the only way to go for this, all right? I have no problem with that, if you put it into a vote that way. Just so we're clear that we'll be voting on, in a new RFP for water operations of the plant, I'm sorry, let me go back, for inspection and evaluation of the plant, with repairs
As outlined in,
as outlined, and water operations for up to 24 months.
yeah, you can- whatever term you want, that's fine with me.
Well,
20
that's
hours, and I would do 20 hours a day. I kind of mirror the
Okay.
contract for the former operators.
20 hours a day.
20 hours.
I mean, 20 hours a week. Yeah, okay, all right, 20 hours a week.
Yes.
Ti-
I'd go 24. Yeah.
Typically, it's 4 hours a day that they're there for,
So 20 hours a week.
so
And we can have.
that'll work.
The lawyer will know that, and
Yeah.
then emergency calls.
And an emergency call.
He can reach out to us for some,
Okay,
if we have input.
so, let's finish this vote here first. Did you get that for as a motion?
I did. I'll get clarification on the video because.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Well, I've got, we'll be voting on an inspection and evaluation with repairs as outlined and water operations for up to 24 months at 20 hours per week.
Okay, emergency calls too?
Yes.
All right, okay,
So, outlined and water operations including emergency calls?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Second? Second?
Yep.
We have a second. Discussion. I think this is a good way of going about it. I think it serves the purposes of what we need to do to get this done. So, all those in favor say aye?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right. Sound good?
Awesome,
All right.
thank you, folks, have a
Thank you.
happy holiday
Sorry it took this
season.
long. Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, all that, and anything I can do, really. Bob has my
Okay.
number. You want to talk about anything or whatever, I'm open 7 days a week,
Yeah.
so call me.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Thanks, guys.
All right. I'm going to take a pause here for 1 second. Glenn, anything you want to discuss?
No,
While
not
we're
really.
here?
No, just want. No.
You showed up, so I'm like giving you,
Not on the
thank
agenda
you.
at all. No.
All right. All right, we got to move a little quicker because I do have a meeting at 7 o'clock in Plymouth. But it's okay, it's down the street. All right, next one is vote to contract an electrician for repairs of the plant. All right, so the lighting issue. I got a message saying that there's no more money in the grant to do the lighting for our plant, so we need to hire someone to take care of the lighting.
We might be all right with this, because I saw that was in the electrical. But I have a walkthrough with the electrician, the subcontractor on Friday. I did reach out to Mr. Dahl as well,
Okay,
because I have the list. I'll see if I
Yeah.
can meet him up there on Friday as well.
All right.
Just give us a proposal on fixing all the lights, the outlets, and getting rid of the
right.
electrical that's kind of hanging around out there that's useless.
Okay. Excellent. So we'll just need the 3 bids for that?
Yep.
All right. The other bids before for like Interstate Electric was $16,539. John Dahl before was $14,375.
Did he have the full scope, John?
Yeah, as far as I know, he did.
Okay.
For what it was, but
That was replacing all the lights?
the lights, the outlets, and pulling the wires
Okay.
for that. And I think the outside lights too, I'm not sure if those were included or not. But, yeah. So that was that. So that would be good for next month, because I'd like that, get that done before we get anybody to go in there and work. All right. Next one on the engineering RFP. So we asked the lawyer to do an engineering RFP. Do we now want to stop that?
Yeah, we can stop.
We can stop that, all right. I'll take a motion to disregard the engineering RFP.
A second.
Okay, got a motion seconded?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, good. The budget, we already voted on it at the last meeting. I put that out there. You see a copy of the budget? All right, you do understand it's like $990-something thousand, something like that. Yeah, and I did send that to the Finance Committee chairperson, so they can talk to it, and they said they'd call me in at some point to discuss it. So just let you guys know I'll be talking about that with them. Next one, contract with a plumber. We need to, I don't know if we need to hire, I mean, usually they hire the plumber to put it in, but we have a problem because they're putting in the meters, but they're not putting the readers in.
Some of the new meters are all a combined unit now.
Okay, so the new one they just did on Plymouth Street, 222A, the one in the back that we just put in, they did a meter pit near the roadway.
Those are the big ones.
Huh?
That's a big meter though, right? Master meter?
Yeah.
Is this a master
Yeah,
meter?
so, but that one needs a transmitter, they don't have one
Okay.
yet.
We
So-
have them here, though. It's the 2 wires.
I have no idea, I don't know
There's
how
two
it
wires
works or
up there.
whatnot, but,
This is on our district,
yes.
so if they were tied in with the water, then.
They weren't tied in, this is the new, that's a new one.
New one.
We just got in because they can't bill. And Middleborough sent me a message, say, hey, listen, they put a meter in, but there's no reader, so there's no way of them going through. And I think, unfortunately, I think where they put that box is where it fills
22A?
with water.
228 Plymouth Street?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the one in the back, the Maynard's house.
Oh, that's 148A.
Is it 148A? Why did I put 222?
I don't know.
They sent me a question about 222A though, too. But they said that about me.
I got a list, I forgot it, I got it last night at the Board of Health meeting. There was only 4 remaining meters that they gotta get in to install, and nobody's calling them back, so.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so we have to keep track on those.
I'll get that list, because we have
Yeah,
6
and,
properties, it's down to 4.
right, so the next one, number 19, is the new meters and readers. We're down to 4 for that, so
I
that,
believe it's 4.
okay. All right, so we gotta keep on on track with all of those. And then, so that's 19, water fees, administrative fees. All right, you guys are gonna love this one. So we get a master bill from Middleborough of all the water that comes in. In that, it comes out to that's their cost of running water to us. The problem is that we have costs too, that we incur from doing that. Everything from killing trees and everything else that we do for the district. So we have to incorporate our what type of a fee it is, I don't know, and how much it's gonna be to the bill. And I know Middleborough wants to increase that rate from 1.5 to maybe 2 times their rate.
Which is still under what we had.
Which still under what we have, so I think we have to look at putting a stipend in there for us in that billing cycle for our administrative fees. So, how much?
We gotta, let me find out from when the meter pit's supposed to, because we gotta get well, they're gonna still do the meter reads.
Right.
Let me get the rates from Middleborough, and find let's see where the gap is between Middleborough and Carver,
Right.
and then we can kinda,
Right, those are the two, I'm sorry, going back, 170 and 154 Plymouth Street, and then they had said the other one was 222. Yeah, 222A.
148A is the people that set back.
Yeah. All right, so those are the 3 properties that she sent me out recently. This was on October
Okay.
for them. Do you want that one
Yeah,
to?
we have that.
All right, talk to them about.
We'll probably have to get with finance. So we're gonna have to find out what we've had new service on there, but we can find out what the variance was between what Carver was billing on North Carver Water and then what Middleborough is billing us, and we can see where the gap is.
Right.
And then we can kind of look at the budget and we can figure out if where we have to address and how.
To bring it up to the rate of what we're.
You're right.
Bottom line is what
Cost.
we're taking in for our administrative fees.
Right.
So it would bring us back up to whatever we were paying, charging for water bills.
Yes.
Prior to. All right, that was my thought process too for it. So we'll put that on the next meeting, that I'll talk to them upstairs and find out what the difference between money-wise, and so we know how much our fees are going to be to bring it up to whatever level it's gonna be at, what our rates are at this point.
Yeah, find out what the price per gallon is.
Right.
We're charging by gallons. I'll check with Mike Bumpus and see what the rate is currently and then what they're proposing. And
Yeah.
then we can kind of gauge off I think it's 45,000 gallons a
Right.
day. So we can kind of gauge.
So that's the fees. That goes with that, yeah. All right, fees. The last thing is, there was some concern about, that's just my, my sensor for my blood sugar. I'm just going a little lower right now. So the backflow preventers, one of them was Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going back in time here.
Yep.
Sorry.
What agenda item are you on?
There was one in there for backflow, right? Something in here.
Oh, they get charged $75 a year, over a year ago,
Yeah,
and now it's $90.
right. And that's for the inspection, that's the inspections for it. So
Yeah,
this is just other not reasonably
Oh, okay.
expected thing. So, and this came out today, this is from today, just to let you guys know. So, that I sent
So
out,
the bill they received was in
this is from Middleborough.
December, well, yeah. So 14 months later, they got a bill, and there was and this is right on the period where we just get hit with all the inflation costs.
Right.
I mean,
So this is from Middleborough. Middleborough sent them this bill.
Okay.
All right, so It's,
Is there a contracted rate with
we don't, with Middleborough, no,
No,
for
I mean
this,
for
but
back-
for them, I don't know.
North Carver Water District? Yeah, so we
So
probably just
we charge them $75 and they're charging them more.
$90.
Right. So,
I mean, $15 over the course of a year.
right.
Cost of doing
But
business.
it is, but I just figured I'd give you guys a heads up on that one, that
I
we were
don't know
charging.
how it was done before. I don't think they marked it up. I think it was just straight up. That's why a lot of the guys said, a lot of towns don't do this themselves.
Right.
They sub it.
Sub it out.
Because
Right.
it's actually takes the burden off the labor for the
Yeah.
town, and they can usually do it cheaper.
Right. Well, I think the guy that does it for the town's retired, and that's what this is his part-time job that he does, so,
Yeah.
but for Middleborough. But that's just an FYI for you guys, that's another cost that comes into the residents and the businesses, okay?
Okay.
Okay, next meeting for January. What do we want to look at?
15th is the third Wednesday.
Okay. I have a meeting that day on the 15th. Like I have a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock. But it's out in Situate, so getting there would be tough. So,
What about the 14th?
that's Tuesday.
I can't do
I can't do Tuesdays.
Do you want
So,
the 22nd? What do you want to do?
yeah, you know what, the 22nd will probably work, but we already voted for the RFP, so that, through the discussions with the lawyer on that, you guys feel okay of him writing it up and sending it out without a vote for us? Because we already voted for it, or do you want to see it first before we put a
It'd be
vote?
nice if you could send us a copy that we could review,
right.
and if we have any suggestions, so we can just shoot it to them. And
So the suggestions have to go to him directly and
Right.
not to all of us, because, I mean, but if we do that, it really should come back to us.
Yes.
And then it looks like we're doing behind-the-scenes stuff there, so we'd have to come back and do a full vote on the 22nd, unless, if he can get it done by the 8th, can we meet on the 8th?
What's the 8th? What's that, a Wednesday?
That's a Wednesday. If we can meet on the 8th and see if we can have the RFP done by the 8th, meet on there so it can get put out by the 8th.
Okay, you want to check with him first? We'll put it as a placeholder.
Okay, and then the regular meeting will be the 22nd.
Oh, so the 8th, he's got to get the information for us.
Yeah, final.
And then 22nd.
So the
FP.
8th will be like an abbreviated meeting.
Yeah, just the only thing I'll put on that topic is the RFP, period, cut and dry.
Okay, what time?
5 o'clock, okay, or,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay. And then the 22nd will be our normal meeting. Okay?
Yep.
And same, 5 o'clock on that?
5 o'clock, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
5's fine for
Okay.
me.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
good thing I looked, because we voted on, and I put it in my calendar for 6 o'clock tonight.
Oh, well, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
A
Like I
quick
said,
email, hey,
yeah,
we're going to do 5.
yeah,
22nd, 5 o'clock, right?
please, yes. And the 8th at 5, just to talk about that. And then the minutes, we're going to put off until January, because I didn't put it on the agenda.
Okay.
All right, anything else for anyone?
No.
All right, obtain a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
So moved.
Motion seconded, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.